Heavy rains, now in their second day, have caused flooding and landslides in KwaZulu-Natal in South Africa. Local media reported 1 dead, 2 people missing. According to the South African Police Service in the town of Umlazi, which is located southwest of Durban, the flood level was more than 1 meter. The Department of Disaster Management responded to a number of other incidents, including landslides and floods in Ladysmith. There were also reports of flooding in coastal areas, including Kingsburg. Conducted more than 40 operations on the water, rescuing drivers who fell into water traps. In Durban, 90 millimeters of rain fell in 24 hours. Forecasters warn that this is not a peak. Heavy rains are expected for the next 2 days. Authorities have issued a red alert in many cities. Also, many people were evacuated. They were rescued and they were given all the necessary first aid. Got today and the capital of Paravay, which was hit by powerful downpours. Asuncion received 125 millimeters of rain in 6 hours. This amount of rain caused localized flooding in many sectors of the city. The elements that hit Paraguay led to the death of at least 1 person and huge property damage, which has yet to be assessed. The flood level in some places reached the mark of 50 centimeters. The National Committee for Emergency Situations in Paraguay said that 10 people have died in recent days as a result of floods and landslides. In flooded areas, the evacuation of the population is carried out. Rescue work is underway. Local authorities have already begun pumping water and restoring infrastructure, but bad weather is a big hindrance. In the afternoon, a tornado hit the city of Ipane in Paraguay. All the fury of nature fell on the Costa Alegre. Local media reported that at least 10 houses were almost completely destroyed, and more than 15 were seriously damaged. The authorities provided shelter to the families of the victims who lost their homes. Eyewitnesses of the event shared photos and videos of this tornado, as well as the consequences after its passage. According to them, the element raged for about 10 minutes. Then the tornado vanished into thin air. The authorities have already begun to assess the damage and restore the infrastructure. Forecasters predict strong gusts of wind and heavy rain until the end of the day. And this is terrible footage from the department of Caaguazu in Paraguay. Just look at this anomalous hail that smashed everything around in the city of Corrales. This is indeed a rare event for this city that has not seen such hail damage. Only given at this time, the hail damaged over 40 houses. The size of the ice flows reached 5 to 6 centimeters, but their number and the speed with which they fell did not spare the roofs of the houses of local residents. Many managed to capture this event on their mobile phones and share it on social networks. It is too early to say what total damage the disaster caused, but the authorities have not yet assessed it. But even so, it is clear that after these ice flows it will be huge. The most important thing is that there are no victims or injured among the local population. The bad weather also did not bypass China, covering it with hurricane gusts of wind, heavy rain and large hail. This is exactly the case when we can say that the weather decided to show almost all its power and at the same time in one province, Sichuan. Wind gusts which exceeded 35 meters per second demolished and ripped off everything in its path. He tore off roofs, awnings, advertising structures and felled trees. To all this was added heavy rain and hail, the size of which reached 4 centimeters in diameter. Falling trees damaged both buildings and personal vehicles of local residents. 50 people have already applied to local hospitals with various injuries caused by this violence of the elements. About 100 millimeters of rain fell on the city of Onue in 10 hours, and this is the norm for 2 weeks. The state of Arkansas was covered by a powerful hailstorm. There were also reports of an EF1 category tornado passing. Arkansas, in the truest sense of the word, survived a hail bombardment the size of a golf ball. Some specimens reached sizes of 6 centimeters in diameter. These hailstones broke trees, crushed cars and smashed windows in them, damaged the roofs of the houses of local residents. Saline County and the second largest city in Arkansas, Fort Smith, were seriously affected by the hail. The storm was accompanied by strong winds. In some places this resulted in power outages. Forecasters predict that quite a lot of precipitation, about 70% of the monthly norm, may fall in the near future. Authorities have issued a tornado warning for today and tomorrow, as well as thunderstorms, high winds and hail. Volcano Nevado del Ruiz produced a series of ash and steam ejections today. This volcano is located in Colombia and is located on the territory of the Los Nevados National Park. The ash column reached a height of 3,250 meters and was visible from several cities in the center of the country. This volcano is characterized by gas stony pyroclastic flows, which often descend during its eruptions. This time they did not. Also, the media did not report on the victims during the eruption. There was no evacuation of the population. The Argentine province of Cordoba was covered by a hailstorm. In 3 municipalities of the province the yellow level of weather danger remains. After extremely high humidity and heat, as is usually the case, a storm followed, accompanied by hail and rain. Most of the reports of large hail came from the municipality of General Baldiser. According to local media, hailstones fell here in places, which reach 5 or more centimeters in diameter. This storm lasted 20 minutes and was accompanied by heavy rainfall. Forecasters noted that today and tomorrow there is still a danger of storms passing and up to 100 millimeters of precipitation over almost the entire province of Cordoba. There were no casualties among the local population. The hail dealt the main blow to the crops of the townspeople. The Kemerovo region has been struggling with a strong flood for 4 days in a row. The overflow of the river led to a flood in the south of Cuzbas. People began to be evacuated. Judging by the footage taken by local residents and shared on social networks, the city of Calton has turned into Venice. Rescue services and representatives of the city administration arrived at the scene. The population is being evacuated. Explosive work is also planned to eliminate the jam from the accumulated ice. Residents report on social networks about the flood of the Condoma River, which flooded several summer cottages. According to eyewitnesses, there are dozens of houses in the flood zone. Many roads are blocked by floods. Many areas can be reached by boat. According to eyewitnesses, the water in some places rose above 1 meter. So far, 50 people have been evacuated. Thank you for watching the video. Thanks for supporting the channel. Good wind and weather.